Hello. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV. Welcome to another video. And we just have to react and give our hard, honest opinion on the Callum Wilson situation, on everything that's going on with him, and also maybe touch on the Tonali rumor that was quickly debunked later on in the afternoon in the UK, but certainly debunked by the agent. I'm still skeptical on that because anything can happen. And the fact that he would be upset that he doesn't get playing time, that he gets utilized the wrong way by Eddie Howe, and that he gets played by Eddie Howe, that very well could be the fact that he wants to leave the club. So it wouldn't be, out of the extraordinary for him to want to leave if he is being played behind Longstaff. Um, and nothing against Longstaff, but it's all about Tonali being the best midfielder for Newcastle United. But we've already talked about that in depth, and we're gonna get into everything else. That's just a quickly and briefly my opinion on that. But Callum Wilson is the biggest thing, and I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I've told in debates here on this channel. I've talked to the Mighty Win. I've said time and time again, you cannot ever trust him. You cannot trust him, not because of him, the person, not because of him. If he's a bad person, he's a good person. And none of that. Is irrelevant to the conversation because Father Time is undefeated, and Father Time has been calling Callum Wilson for a long time, and he's refused and refused and refused. Well, that's fine. He doesn't have to retire. Nobody has to force him. Nobody. He doesn't have to do any of that. However, we as a club have to make a decision with Callum Wilson, and the decision is pretty simple. We have an emotionally we emotionally get attached to these people, to these players. And look, I've been emotionally attached to Alan Shearer, to Nobi Solano, to many other players. I really like Jonas Gutierrez. I really love Coloccini. That's my era as a Newcastle fan. And if you're a little lad, if you're a kid, if you're somebody growing up with a tune, I would expect for you to be in love with these guys and see no farther. But when it comes to grown men that debate you and argue with you on this simple fact that this kid cannot stay fit to save his life. He's not right now. He's not up. He's not made for pro football. He's not made for high level football, especially in the Premier League. Maybe a smaller club that has no pressure, but every time he comes on, every time Callum Wilson comes on the pitch, he is pressured to perform. He is pressured to stay fit. He has to stay fit. If not, he gets scrutinized. And deservedly so because Newcastle United fans have been waiting in the dark for over 50 years. And they at some point they've had enough. They want to be successful, especially at Newcastle United Football Club. We're not Luton or we're not Brentford. We're not Southampton. We're not Bournemouth. With all the respect to those clubs and those fans, we are Newcastle United, a team that once was, a team that once upon a time knew what it was to win, and then it just got quiet and mismanaged and mishandled for years and decades and decades. So we're a different club, and we want more. And at some point in time, we have to put away our feelings. We have to put away our what we hope happen. We already got fans on this channel, especially the Mighty Win, admit that he basically has he can't make sense on why Eddie should get more minutes, should get more time. He basically gave up on Callum Wilson last night on the NUFC extra time. He just hopes and dreams, and that's fine. You can hope and dream all you want. That is your prerogative. That is your choice to just, as a fan, hope and dream that Callum Wilson will once be fit, or that Eddie Howe might turn things around, which he might. He might. But at the end of the day, you got to look at what's in front of you. You've got to look at what's happening, the trends. And unfortunately, we've been seeing this with Callum Wilson for months and months and months. Have you noticed that he doesn't get injured for the most part? For the most part, which is surprising, he doesn't get hurt on the pitch. And when he gets hurt on the pitch, he hurts areas that are unheard of, like a pec or a tiny, you know, tussle with somebody. But when he doesn't get hurt on the pitch, the vast majority of injuries are off the pitch. When he's trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know how he got hurt. And listen, Callum Wilson is the last person that wants to get hurt. He wants to be the best striker in the league. He wants to be the best striker in the world. But unfortunately, he can't do it anymore. And we as a club have to move forward, have to move and keep going, aside from a personal player's feelings. Now, do I want to be a cynical club that doesn't care about their players' feelings or their players' uh, well being? Of course not. But with Callum Wilson, you have tried many, many times. You cannot depend on him anymore. Fans cannot depend on him anymore. And that is the bottom line. That is the bottom line. You have to move on because he is the number two to Isak at this point. In the pecking order, he's the second guy to come in. We've seen it. He comes in, he gets somewhat healthy. I don't know if he was healthy fully. I don't know. One thing that Eddie Howe was right. I still would have liked to seen Osula in that match that Isak had to leave when he was hurt. I believe it was Crystal Palace. I still would have liked to see a proper center forward come in like Osula for instead of for the proper center forward in Isak that was coming off. Some people say he should have stayed because if he cannot play minutes, Eddie Howe was right. He gets all these minutes and he gets hurt. And at some point, you have to say, as a club, it's over. It's over. Unfortunately, we don't. We wish him the best. We're going to pay him every bit of his contract, as we should. And then we have to part ways. Why can't we as a club make those decisions? Why? We've given it already enough time. We've given it enough opportunities. And I'm saying given the situation enough time. Not saying giving Callum Wilson time, and so that horse needs to go already. He can't run no more. Not treating him as an animal, but help him understand that it's over. We've given it a shot. The club has to move on. We're gonna pay you what we need to pay you, what you deserve to be paid. And maybe he can have a career in another club where he's not under scrutiny every time he comes on. Because in the pressure in Newcastle United is never been high as it is now. The tension to perform, to do good, to make the right move. Eddie Howe already in pressure himself. You've got to give this guy more. And look, Eddie Howe, if Eddie Howe wants to keep him, he rates him highly. Well, you're going to have to overwrite what Eddie Howe says as a club. You cannot give this guy a contract. You cannot give a Longstaff contract. These guys are not making you better. They're not making you better. At some point, they did a job. They did great. They helped you. They also got paid for it. They didn't do it for free. No matter how much of a Geordie Longstaff is or Byrne, they do it for the money. They do it for the money, ladies and gentlemen. Wake up. Now, you've treated them well, like you treated everybody else. Byrne's probably going to get a new contract if he didn't already. Longstaff, another contract to somebody that really is not helping you. He's not. You can't bring him off the bench because he's not an improvement on what you have already. And to use the mentality of, okay, let's start Longstaff then because Tonali will be an impact. It's doing everything backwards. It makes no sense. It's putting the toilet seat in the kitchen. It makes zero sense. And to finish off, because Callum Wilson is beating a dead horse. It is what it is. It's not working out, and I feel for the guy. But as a club, you have to move forward. The club is beyond players, above players. Everybody has had to say go bye. Everybody has had to leave. Everybody once upon a time said it's enough is enough. If Alan Shearer left the club, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you realize yet. Alan Shearer left the club, and we survived. We're still alive. and he is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, center forwards of all time. We have to learn as a fan base to learn how to move on and detach ourselves from names. Trust me, the club is above all. Tonali, is it true? Is it not true? Well, the agent coming out and saying that to with Fabrizio Romano getting the information that the Tonali has no, he doesn't want to leave Newcastle. He's happy at Newcastle, which I hope is true, for Newcastle's sake. I tweeted on Blue Sky as well. You can follow us in all our social media platforms at NUFC Talk TV, at NUFC Talk TV on Blue Sky, on Twitter, on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, everywhere. And we post regularly. I post my opinion, but I post them anyway. Or you can follow me on X as well at CTA Magpie for personal takes. I said, if true, dark days are yet to come for Newcastle United, because if the best players are leaving, we're just returned to be the typical early 2000s Newcastle United, the cellar club, the one that doesn't compete for anything. If the best players are leaving, have just returned to that. Simple as that. And the somebody like I said to the Sport is no punk. See, this is the thing, man. People just don't want to look at what it seems like a threat to their club, or a threat. Oh, these guys want our players. They want to do us badly. So screw them. They're lying. It's all lies. I want people to think things through with an objective mind. Like I said, the Sport is a huge, if not the biggest, media outlet in football in Italy. And they reporting that Sandro Tonali is not happy at Newcastle because of his minutes, because of the tactics, because he misses home. And Fabrizio Romano's agent, Tonali's agent coming out to and leaking the information to Fabrizio Romano, or he went out and spoke that the Sandro is happy in Newcastle. He doesn't want to leave. I hope that's true, and that could be very well true. But it also couldn't. It also doesn't have to be the sole truth just because the agent comes out and says that, because he's trying to protect Tonali. Because if it is true and this has been leaked out, all of a sudden when Tonali goes on the pitch, he might face scrutiny from the fans, from Newcastle United fans, and he doesn't want that. He might want to leave Newcastle silently and make it a quick deal. It can't happen. And then all of a sudden, the agent has to come out and fix this situation before it gets worse with the fans and Tonali. It has happened. It can happen. So don't just take what was said by the agent and all of a sudden there's no issues. I don't necessarily agree with that. Because put yourself in Tonali's shoes. If you were the proper footballer like he is, the best midfielder in the team, he comes on the pitch, he comes off, he gets subbed. He's the first one, the only one to get subbed off for a guy that's nowhere near his talent. And time again, how would you feel if you thought you were worth more than that? I'm just saying. It very well could be true. And I hope it's not. Because like I said, if it is true, dark days are yet to come. So a lot of people on Twitter responded under my tweet and said it's not true. It's been reported by Fabrizio Romano. Talk to the agent or whatever it was. I hope it's not true. When I saw the tweet by the agent, I got my hopes up again, because I knew, well, this is not true. But then I started thinking for myself, which is what I tell fans all the time. Think for yourself. I hope it's not true. I hope it is true that what the agent is saying. However, there is a possibility that the agent is just trying to keep the waters calm for Sandro at Newcastle, whilst working silently and quietly for a deal for him to leave. I really hope that's not true, because I think with him on the pitch, we are a better team. The problem is he ever going to be on the pitch? That's the biggest question with our manager currently. Anyways, thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and so to stay up to date on all things Newcastle United. Don't forget, I'm going to Newcastle the 13th of January, London the 14th for a week. So if you want to meet up, if you want to have a pint, grab a tab, enjoy, just let us know, and we'll meet up at a certain point. We're definitely going to be going to the matches. We're going to be doing post-match reactions after those matches live from the surrounding areas of St. James's Park. So please stay tuned and hope to meet you out there in the tune. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.